What's going on with Gambit?
The latest is, we'll see. I mean, honestly, like, since the merger happened, I think all of the movies that are at Fox, not just the Marvel movies, but all the movies at Fox, are being evaluated, and they'll figure out what they want to do with them.
You want to see it happen, though?
I would love to see it happen. I mean, I love the idea of Channing playing Gambit. I think we have a great script for it, and I think it's a role he was born to play. It's a character I grew up loving, and I know the fans love. So I hope it'll happen.
Who's the one superhero you want to see pop up in an X-Men movie that you're dying to have?
I mean, I'm a fan of so many of those MCU characters. I guess I would say probably either somebody from Wakanda or Iron Man. I mean, I love Downey. I've worked with him. I love what he does with that character. I feel like he created the tonal template for the MCU with the first Iron Man movie, and so the notion of Iron Man popping up in X-Men or Iron Man interacting with Deadpool is pretty exciting.
X-Men and Deadpool. That's what I vote for. I think that would be pretty amazing.
Well, we did a little bit of that in Deadpool 2. Like, I shot a scene for Deadpool 2 where they pop up, and in Deadpool 1 we had a reference where Ryan's talking about the messed up timelines of the X-Men movies, and so I think there'll be a lot of mixing and merging now, and I'm all for it, and excited to see. As just a fan, I'm excited to see it.
Hi everyone, it's Charlie. So we got a whole bunch of new Marvel Phase 4 stuff to break down. This is Simon Kinberg. If you don't know who he was sort of the Kevin Feige of Fox Marvel the last couple of years, but he's basically saying what's going on post-merger with all the big X-Men films that they had in development, including all the Deadpool stuff too. So we'll break all that down. It's also pretty cool to hear him talk about Iron Man crossing over with Deadpool and the X-Men, which may or may not confirm that he survives into Marvel Phase 4. There's a lot of questions about who's gonna die at the end of Avengers Endgame. Is just the beginning. It's only going to get crazier in the next couple of months with Avengers Endgame and all the other movies that are coming this summer. So if you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe to get all the Marvel videos. There's a new round of that IMAX ticket giveaway too. All you have to do to enter is be a subscriber and leave a Marvel or X-Men comment on the video. So Simon Kinberg is saying that they had all these X-Men movies in development. There are actually several that I'll explain in what's going on with each of them, but he says that right now Kevin Feige is deciding what's going to happen with all those separate movies. We have a pretty good idea of which X-Men movies are going to get thrown in the trash can and which movies Kevin Feige is going to continue to make.
Hey, it's me. Don't scratch. Just cleaning up the timelines.
The only exception to this is Fantastic Four, because as of the Fox-Disney deal the last couple of months, there was no Fantastic Four movie in development at Fox. So this is fresh slate for them. Kevin Feige will reboot those characters. You'll see them in the Marvel Cinematic Universe eventually. Going down the X-Men movie list, though, we have Dark Phoenix coming up this summer. That's still coming out in June. That will be the very last X-Men team-up film that Fox makes. The next time you see an X-Men film released by Marvel, it'll be Kevin Feige's movie with versions of characters that he's recast with a brand new version of the team.
You're always sorry, Charles, and there's always a speech, and nobody cares.
The very earliest that they could get that out is in 3 years, and that's only if he started today. Like if he's fielding scripts, which probably isn't happening because they're still trying to get Avengers Endgame out, and he's trying to decide which of these other movies that he's going to throw in the trash can and which one they're going to continue to develop. So somewhere in a back room, there's a team of interns on typewriters just coming up with pitches and ideas for X-Men movies that he can then field. So eventually you'll hear more about that this summer. So pretty much everybody in the entire world who watches comic book films understands that eventually there will be another solo X-Men film with a different version of the team. But here we go. Next one, though, is New Mutants. You may have been hearing all the drama behind the scenes. Maisie Williams has been doing all these interviews for Game of Thrones Season 8. People have been asking her for updates on New Mutants. Is that movie even coming out? Are they just going to throw it in the garbage? What's going on? She says that she and the other cast members have no idea when it's going to be released. There were supposed to be a bunch of reshoots so that they could turn it into a legit horror film, more of an R-rated film instead of PG-13. Those never happened. They hit the pause button on production, and the director, Josh Boone, went on to another project while the Fox-Disney deal was going on. So right now, there's a version of that movie that's sitting on a shelf somewhere, and the current belief is that Disney will either sort of tool it around and make it more PG-13 and release it on the Disney Plus streaming service when that launches later this year, or they'll let it be a legit horror film and they'll just put it on Hulu. Hulu is the place where Disney is putting all of its Deadpool, R-rated, hardcore stuff, anything that you wouldn't consider family-friendly.
The only F-bomb we're using around here is Fred Savage.
So we'll eventually see that movie, but it'll probably be on one of those streaming services. The next big one is Channing Tatum's Gambit movie that Simon Kinberg talks about during this interview. He's like, I hope it still comes out. That was supposed to be set during the 1970s, so Days of Future Past era. The last big director said that he left the movie after their budget got slashed in the wake of Fantastic Four back in 2015, just completely bombing. So that lets you know how long that they've been trying to get that Gambit movie off the ground, if they've been working on it since before the last Fantastic Four movie came out. Odds are pretty good that that never gets made. Channing Tatum is a big star. He can totally sell movies, but I just don't see Kevin Feige letting that character Gambit go off by himself when he could put him in a modern-day MCU film. There's Drew Goddard's X-Force film that he's working on, which is sort of like the R-rated version of a big X-Men team-up film. So like Deadpool films tend to be a little bit smaller, the budgets aren't quite as big. Imagine Deadpool 2 if they did not kill off X-Force and they did a genuine X-Force film and just doubled the budget.
From now on, we'll be known as X-Force.
They were actually supposed to go in production for that a while ago, but because of the Fox-Disney deal, the pause button was hit and they're sort of retooling what they're going to do with the next Deadpool film, because they were also going to make Deadpool 3 after they were going to make X-Force. But the CEO of Disney, Bob Iger, said that they were going to continue to allow Deadpool to make R-rated films. But here's the thing, Drew Goddard, who's supposed to be working on that movie, just signed a giant overall deal at Fox to make TV shows for them. So how is he going to do that and do the X-Force film at the same time? It just seems like they're not going to make X-Force, they'll just proceed on to Deadpool 3 and somebody else will work on that project. But the good thing about Drew Goddard, though, is that they'll probably have him develop Marvel and X-Men TV shows for the Disney Plus streaming service. Because if you don't know who Drew Goddard is, he's the guy who developed Daredevil Season 1 for Netflix. He's the one that made that show what it is. So he's one of those creative geniuses that sprung from the Whedonverse. So he's really good at what he does. He's an amazing writer. So you should be excited about anything that he touches. But because of this new TV deal that he signed in the Disney Plus streaming service and all the X-Men TV shows and Marvel TV shows they're going to be developing for it, we probably won't find out what exactly those are for quite a while. But just be excited that he is now locked down under deal with them, meaning that you'll see a lot of cool Marvel stuff coming from them. No idea who's going to be writing and directing Deadpool 3, they haven't decided yet, but they will make it. There will be more Deadpool films. Right now, Ryan Reynolds is the only one who's expected to continue playing his character going forward.
You can see what all falls apart, and quite frankly, why I prefer Marvel.
We are Marvel.
Hilarious. You're Fox.
So don't worry about him, Deadpool will be fine, he'll continue doing his thing, but he also might cross over with the other films. But in those cases, he would be more PG-13 in the vein of Once Upon a Deadpool, as opposed to the Deadpool solo films, where he just continues on being as hardcore and R-rated as he wants to be. It's just that now he can take more shots at all the other Marvel films because there's no question about using IP. Like, you could put anybody you want to in those Deadpool films. Like Simon Kinberg says, I would love to see Robert Downey Jr.'s Iron Man in a Deadpool film, although I don't expect that to happen anytime soon. There was the Kitty Pryde movie that Bendis and Tim Miller, the director of the first Deadpool movie, were making that's still happening. Bendis said that he was still working on it as of January, February, so apparently it's still in development. Kitty Pryde, probably one of the most popular X-Men characters. She's one of those characters that you could put in almost any of those big Marvel films that are coming up during Phase 4, and she would be really cool. But there was the James Franco Multiple Man movie, which is now probably going to get thrown in the garbage can. Literally nothing has been said about it in the last year or two since they announced that he had started to work on it. There was the Doctor Doom solo film that Noah Hawley was making. If you don't know who he is, he's the person that makes the Legion TV show. He makes a lot of really weird, really cool stuff, so he's really good at what he does. But his Doctor Doom film was supposed to be a little bit smaller. He didn't say exactly which other characters showed up during that, but it was mostly set in and around Latveria. He said that he met with Kevin Feige recently to talk about his film, but he gave him his script for that Doctor Doom film. Kevin Feige has not read it yet or given him any feedback, so he doesn't know if his Doctor Doom film is going to get made. I don't think that it will. I think we'll just see Doctor Doom pop up in somebody else's film. Then lastly, number 1, there was a Brian K. Vaughan Silver Surfer movie that he was working on. I'm also expecting that that's going to get thrown in the garbage can and they'll just put Silver Surfer in somebody else's movie, either Fantastic Four or another X-Men movie or a big Marvel Studios crossover film. Let me know if you have any big questions about Marvel Phase 4 or Avengers Endgame or things that you want me to make videos for. What'll happen is I'll name a giveaway winner when I post my next Marvel video. Click here for that brand new Avengers Endgame trailer that they just dropped, and click here for that brand new Spider-Man Far From Home promo. Thank you so much for watching. Everybody stay awesome. I'll see you guys tonight.